Oh yeah? That soft, fresh smell of your laundry? It's microplastics melted right into your clothes. Savannah Reed will join us today to reveal the hidden truth about your laundry routine and the 6-ingredient formula that cleans better without the poison. Welcome to True Wellness with Dr. D, the podcast where we explore what it takes to live with vitality, balance, and purpose. I am Dr. D, and each week I'll bring you powerful tools, inspiring stories, and expert insights to help you thrive in every area of your life. From health and wellness to mindset and navigating life's challenges, this podcast is your guide to creating a life of true well-being. Be sure to check the show notes and grab your free copy of the True Wellness Checklist so you can get started on your journey to true wellness right away. Now, let's get started. All right, you guys, today we're diving into what it really means to live safe and sound, not just in our homes, but in our bodies. You see, my guest today, Savannah Reed, she has turned her passion for pure ingredients into a movement for cleaner living. And you'll never going to look at soap, you guys, the same way again after our conversation. So welcome, Savannah. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, this is a really important conversation because it's almost like we take for granted a lot of things, including the items that we use on a daily basis. People think about getting healthy and they think immediate like food and exercise, but they're not paying attention to the other things. So I cannot wait to dive in. For our listeners, you guys, Savannah Reed, she is the founder of Safe and Sound Soap Company, where every product is really crafted with simple, natural ingredients that you can pronounce, right? And she's driven by a mission to make homes healthier, okay? And self-care itself actually safer. So Savannah helps families ditch the toxins, embrace clean and sustainable living, one bar of soap at a time. So thanks, Savannah. Tell me, how did you end up getting into this pathway? Because like I said, we often take for granted things like our soaps and our shampoos and our laundry detergent.
Well, it's really funny that you mentioned that about people starting their health journeys with eating and exercising. I feel like I was kind of the opposite because when I started trying to get healthy, I was like, what's some really easy low-hanging fruit that I can kind of pick off? I don't have to change how I'm eating. I don't have to kick these, habits that I have straight away. Let's get some of these easier things done first. So that's kind of how I started, just trying to live a healthier, more natural lifestyle. And really, when I went to try to choose all natural laundry soaps from the store, there weren't a lot of options. They were very expensive. And I would buy them and I did not feel like they worked. So it really came from that frustration of I thought this was going to be the easy thing to change in my life, and it turned out to be really hard. So I definitely want to make it as easy as possible for other people.
Yeah, well, I want you to share with us some of what you learned on your journey because, there is a lot of I'm going to call it greenwashing, I guess is the term that's used, quite frankly, where not just green, like things are, eco-friendly, but, oh, they're so safe for you. And yet then you turn over and you look at the ingredients and you're like, oh my gosh, there are so many ingredients in here that really are not good for my body. I mean, I think, what is the statistic? So the average woman will apply over 160 chemicals to her body before breakfast.
It's before breakfast. Yeah.
That's a lot of chemicals. That's just before breakfast. Think about the entire day. It almost becomes crazy. So how did you discover okay, well, what should I be putting on my body? What shouldn't I be putting on my body? What should I be using for my cleaning products? What shouldn't I be using for my cleaning products?
It was more about what can I remove and it still be effective, right? So there's the all natural laundry soaps that I was finding in stores still had over 50 ingredients. I'm like, which of these ingredients is just really not necessary or is used just to make it more cheaper product, easier to bottle, those types of things. So that's what I really look like is what can I remove? What's actually necessary to clean the clothes to make the laundry soap still effective, and what's natural ingredients that I can substitute for some of those.
Yeah.
So yes, my laundry soap is 6 ingredients. So that's the only thing I'll say is that the ones I was talking about over 50 ingredients and they're still marketed as natural, and mine is only 6 ingredients.
6 ingredients. So 6 ingredients, but sometimes too, like on laundry detergents and stuff, they don't even mention all the ingredients that are in there.
Exactly. Just the term fragrance can hide over 3,000 ingredients. They do not have to disclose what is in the fragrance. So you see maybe just a few ingredients, but if it has the word fragrance on there, be careful. You might want to see what that could be hiding.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, we take for granted, not just with our food, but also with things like laundry detergent or cleaning supplies or cosmetics. Like we assume that just because it's for sale, that it's safe. Just because it's in a store means that it's, okay for us to use. I mean, what's the truth behind that assumption?
I think we should be able to assume that, but unfortunately, that's not the case. Even with the words natural, that just seems to be slapped on every single product in the store now because they've noticed the trend that we're wanting more natural products, and they just want to slap that word on literally everything. And we should be able to trust that label. We should be able to look in the stores, and when we see something that says all natural, we should be able to trust that it's made entirely of natural ingredients. But really, the words all natural aren't regulated at all by the FDA or by really any system at all. There's no regulation, and any company can use that word however they like.
Yeah, it's so funny. I've been doing this for a long time. My husband and I, we've been married for a really long time. And, even still, like I might send him to the store and he brings something home and he's like, but look, it says non GMO. And I'm like, well, they don't even make that genetically modified. So, of course, it says non GMO, right? So it's so easy to get trapped by the marketing, thinking just because a product says something on the front means that it's actually true, right? And even with like food ingredient lists, there can be a certain percentage of something in that food and they never even have to label it or write it down. And I'm guessing it's the same thing in other products like soaps and lotions and in cleaners.
Yes, that's very true. Like I said with the fragrance, and I've noticed another trend is places having no phthalates, no parabens, and they put that on everything, which is great that they don't have those ingredients because those are some very toxic chemicals that we don't want in our products. But then if you look at the ingredients, they're using other things that aren't very healthy for us as well. So if you're going to pay the extra money and you're going to do the work to start weeding some of these harmful products out of your home, I just say to do your own research and to make sure that you're still reading those ingredient labels because you don't want to do all of this work and switch over all of these products just to find out that they aren't as clean as you thought they were.
Exactly. Totally, totally agree with that. Tell me, so you mentioned a couple things, and maybe some of our listeners aren't aware of what those chemicals actually are. So maybe you can share some of those big no-nos with them and why those things are no-nos.
Okay, of course. Parabens and phthalates are a really big one right now, and I'm really glad that people are talking about them, but they're essentially microplastics that
Mhm.
are used to bind the fragrance chemicals to the product and to your skin, or like if it's in a laundry soap, to your clothes. And that's why those commercials for those laundry soaps say lasts over 2 weeks or whatever they put on there. Yeah, it lasts because it's microplastics that have been melted into your clothes and they're not going to go away. They're forever chemicals. So they
Yeah,
are stuck in there.
yeah, think about that. It's like, oh, magical. We're gonna have this fragrance. Anytime I see that, I'm like, oh gosh, like It's not a good thing. I know my sons, they ride motocross, and they, they work really hard. They're sweaty, they get gross and disgusting, and they're always like, "But mom, the laundry detergent, mom." And I'm like, sorry, that stuff that your friends are using is not ever going to go on your body, kid. Sorry.
Yes, that's really why I wanted to create a good natural, all natural laundry soap, and also a laundry booster, because I was one of those that was using the laundry beads. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, like those wax beads
I
that you can
don't.
add. Yeah, they're like fragrance beads, and I use those in every load. They smelled so good. And I started looking at the ingredients, of course, fragrances, but then they were made from wax, essentially like kind of pouring like candle chips into your washing machine. So that can damage your washing machine. But it coats the clothes in like a waxy kind of film, and that's why it stays so fresh and stays smelling good for so long, because you're
Mhm.
kind of just coated in a very, very thin layer of, candle wax, which is not good because that's getting on your skin and you're wearing them all day long.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, how did you make that transition, right? Like what inspired you? I know you said that you got inspired to figure out, okay, well, what's the easiest thing? What can I avoid? What inspired you to do that? Why was that important for you?
I was trying to get my hormones balanced and really focus on health. And I took like a $400 masterclass online from someone on social media, which it was a great class. And the majority, she talked about foods, but kind of there at the end, she mentioned like changing over some of your home and body products, and kind of um, very easy swaps that you could make. And I kind of just clung onto that. I'm like, oh, I can do this. This is the easiest one, so I'll start here.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Good. So, what have you learned along your journey as you've kind of been diving in and researching these different chemicals and walking through stuff? What have you learned? What can you advise our listeners on?
I would say to just start with one thing at a time. Like if you want to start with your diet and that's the easiest one for you, that's great. If you want to start with some of your body products, maybe just look into start using plain Castile soap as your body wash. You can add your own essential oils to that and make a really easy body wash or a really easy dish soap. And just starting with those few items at a time so you don't overwhelm yourself. And a lot of these ingredients that you can use are very, very inexpensive, and you're making it yourself, which can be fun, but it can also be really easy.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated. I know I use a lot of vinegar and baking soda when I do, when we.
My two favorites.
Yep, yep. Makes things super simple and super easy. Sometimes, like you're like, "Mom, it smells like a salad in here," but the smell goes away really fast.
It does. I also feel like you get accustomed to it, like you kind of get desensitized to it.
Yes.
I would say starting out using vinegar, like vinegar and baking soda to clean my shower was like, oh, my whole bathroom, my whole house stinks now. But if you can dilute it down and like slowly kind of desensitize yourself to the smell, then you won't even notice it.
Yeah. What are some of some of your other favorite like simple swaps that make a really big impact? Without overwhelming people or having them break the bank. What are some of those easier swaps for them to start to think about and consider?
I love Castile soap. It is so good for so many things. It's low suds, and it's made from plant oils, from coconut oil, olive oil, depending on which brand that you buy. But it's really nourishing for your skin, so you can use it as a face wash, as a body wash. You can use it as a um, dish soap when you're washing dishes, and it does a really good job of cleaning without stripping away the natural oils on your skin and stripping your skin of what it needs. It does a really good job of that. So I think that's definitely my favorite. Um, Another tip that I love to tell people, because it's really easy, instead of buying laundry softener for your laundry. I get asked all the time if I make that, and I don't, because I just use vinegar. And that's probably one you use, is just putting vinegar right in the fabric softener slot, just a fourth a cup. That's all you need. Your clothes don't smell like vinegar. Unlike when you're cleaning with it, you definitely smell it. When you use it in your clothes, it's mixed with so much water, you do not smell it, but it helps strip away that dirt and grime in your clothes and keeps everything really fresh.
Yeah, I love that. How about so talk to me about what you've learned in terms of skincare products on your journey as well.
I think the less the better. So there's so many serums and so many extra things that it's kind of marketed that we need this. And I did have terrible acne. That was another reason I was just trying to get my hormones balanced and stuff at the beginning of this journey. And I've kind of found out the less I do to my skin, the better. Like the less lotions and creams and serums that I try to put on, the better it really does. My skin is sensitive, so if I use something new, I have to be really careful with it. So I think the less the better. Like you find those couple of staple products that you like to use and just stick with those.
Yeah, I love that. It's funny. I am so not the girly girl personally. Like I am like just putting on makeup for like podcasts or like, oh God, do I have to do that? You know,
As you can see, I do not have any on. For me, the less the better. My skin does not like it. There are some great
yeah,
brands out there. I'm sure that you probably have some brands you could recommend for some healthier makeup options.
Absolutely. What I find though is that, everyone's got these rules like, oh my gosh, we need to use this, we need to use that, we need to use all of these different things when in fact they're really not necessary. Like I don't have to put lotion on my face every day. I don't, sometimes I'm lucky if I wash my face at night before I go to bed, right? There's no makeup on, like, you know. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it's a big trend, like the beef tallow on the face, and that's great for people that have super dry skin. I tried it; it didn't do super great with mine, but I think it's just because I was adding something to my routine that my skin really didn't need, and it was something because it was trending. I'm like, oh, that's fun, and you know, I tried it; it didn't really do anything wrong. It just didn't really help me, and
Yeah.
so just keeping your routine as simple as you can.
Yeah, so it's like we don't have to always spend so much money on all these different things, and your skin really can, maintain itself on its own if you're not slathering all those chemicals on it. It's the same thing like, for your hair products and all of that. So tell us a little bit about so you now have found such a passion for this that you've actually created a company out of it. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yes, it's been a long journey. But I really started just selling at farmers markets, and mostly what I would do is go set up and give out samples. And I got feedback on my laundry soap. So I started with one product only, and slowly I started getting feedback about the laundry soap. People liked it, maybe wanted a few changes, and I got my formula pretty much right where I wanted it. And then started getting requests for different items, room sprays. Can you do some sugar scrubs? And that's kind of where it went from there. I do have a website now, but I still set up in-person events because I do just love talking to people and connecting with them and getting I feel like it's good for people to have options because especially if you have sensitive skin or if you're more aware of the ingredients, you're not just taking your kid in Bath and Body Works and being like, "Oh, pick out any of these perfumes or lotions." If you're wanting to have a more natural option, there's not a lot out there, and you can buy them online, but that's not too fun because you want to be able to smell them. So that's why I enjoy doing the in-person events because then people can come in and smell everything just like you would in like a body store like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So talk to me a little bit about what things are do you implement with your family to help them be on this safer, healthier side?
Um, I do again a lot of the Castile soap, but even with I have a 6 month old, and really I'm not even really using soap with her yet. I had all these plans like, oh, it'll be fun. I can kind of create a really cool like baby care line, and then it was kind of like, wow. what are all these baby products? I haven't even needed baby powder. What is that for? Like I had all these
Oh,
plans to do all of these things. I was like, we really don't need this stuff. She's been fine without it. We haven't needed the baby powder, the baby creams, none of it really. Like one time I've used a baby cream on her. And so I think using less is more sometimes. Um, Definitely just keeping things simple again.
yeah, I love that. Let's talk a little bit about labels, right? Because you said on the beginning of your in the beginning of your journey, you were starting to like look at labels and be like, what the heck is in here? How can people begin to take on that label reading? What should they be looking at when they're looking at different products?
I think you should be looking for if you can pronounce it and if you can understand what it is and what it does. So we all have phones now and we can Google things. Sometimes if it's something that you can't pronounce, you can look it up and see, oh, I know what it is. It's telling me where it came from. So it's from a natural source and it's telling me why it's in the product and what it does. Like on my laundry soaps, on the back of every one is a list of the ingredients, but not only what the ingredients are, but what they do and what purpose it serves in the formula. So looking at those ingredients, it's great when you can pronounce them. Even better if you can know what they do.
Yeah, got that. Got that. I know you also like to talk a little bit about, our health in relationship to our environment. So, how does, cleaning up our home environment actually change the way that we feel?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Dr. D. I just wanted to remind you that you can get started on your true wellness journey. Go ahead and check the show notes and grab a link to the True Wellness Checklist. Now, let's get back to the episode.
As far as the getting rid of some of the chemicals,
Yeah, yes.
yes. Um, so many of these chemicals can off balance your hormones, can cause skin issues, but it doesn't always just show up on your skin. Hormones controls everything, as you know, from your gut health to your energy levels to your sleep at night. And we don't always notice right away. And our body is also very resilient to be like, oh, this toxin is here, but we can handle this. And our bodies can handle it for a very long time, but slowly issues can start popping up and it's definitely over time going to take its toll. But it's great that our bodies are so resilient, but sometimes you almost wish like that it would raise just a little bit more of a red flag, and then people would see these ingredients are not good for us. But
I
because our
know.
bodies are so resilient, it's like, oh, it's not causing any problems until you're 60 or 70 years old with cancer, and you're like, well, what caused it? And if you are able to catch that early and see these ingredients in my home, what can I switch out? What can I switch out that's really not going to affect me, that's not going to interfere with quality of life? I think that was the biggest thing for me is like, I don't really want to change my eating habits quite yet, or this is like, I'm in a busy season. It's going to be hard to do that, but changing out your home and body products, it's not going to really affect your quality of life, what you're washing your laundry in or what you're washing your dishes in. So making those small changes, just like the chemicals will add up over time, making the small changes will add up over time.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, it's just one of those things. Sometimes when there's not an immediate reaction to something, you don't put two and two together.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, we might be using, for example, some big brand name, I'm not going to name names, right, but some big brand name toxic laundry detergent, and you've been using it for the last 30 years and you're like, hey, it's fine, look, I've been using it for the last 30 years, and then all of a sudden you get this cancer diagnosis and you're like, well, where did it come from? And no one's turning around and saying, it could have been my laundry detergent, right?
No.
My shampoo, it could have been my body lotion, it could have been my cosmetics, because the relationship is not a direct relationship, but
And
it,
the truth,
mhm,
yeah. Yeah, the truth is it's probably not any one of those
mhm.
singularly. It's all of them
Yes,
combined and
yes,
using them for years and years and years.
yes. Savannah, I like to explain to like my clients what I call the rain barrel effect. So it's like imagine that your body's kind of like this rain barrel. And so it by itself, it's really effective and efficient at detoxifying. We were made to do that. We weren't made to live in a little bubble. We were made to detoxify. But what happens is if the spout of that rain barrel gets gunked up, and now we're filling that rain barrel and it's not coming out the other end, eventually it's going to overflow. So totally agree with what you're saying, because it's like a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. And eventually we've now got this massive amount. And like you said, in a lot of these different products, there are these forever chemicals, right? They are like forever in your body. And that really has that rain barrel fill up a lot faster. So I love what you're doing. And I love how you're like bringing safer things out into the world, because I mean, it is so important. And like I said, a lot of people aren't even aware of how important it is to start to look at these different pieces. You know, we might think about like, oh, I put that lotion on and then I got a rash, and so they attribute it right there. But not over the long term. Not over the long term.
Yeah, your skin is your largest organ. I think sometimes we think of our skin as like a body armor, because it's protecting everything inside and it can take a lot of abuse and we don't really have to take care of it. But it's every day it's soaking in things. Every day it's taking in our environment, and our environment is harsh enough just going out in the store and all of the germs and everything. And so you want to take care of it when you're at home with your body products. And I think too, people, it's kind of in our culture that we can just trust that if it's in the store, it's safe for us. I think you said something like that
Yeah.
earlier, and wish that was the case. Hopefully, one day we will live in a world where it's like that. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of information out there now that's coming out, and I think now is a good time to talk about it better than ever
Yeah, absolutely.
because of that information.
Yeah, I think one of the things that happens too is people assume that just because something has natural ingredients that it's not effective, right? So talk to me, like, how do you, especially as you're formulating things, how do you balance effectiveness with safety so people don't feel like they're sacrificing results for purity? Like, hey, you can have the purity and still get your results.
Yes. So it can be true that natural ingredients aren't going to be as effective as the chemicals. That can be true. Um, like with my laundry soap formula, I wanted something that deodorizes and that cleans at the same time. And mine is mineral based. So you have those minerals that are naturally occurring in the earth that strip away any dirt, grime, and then minerals also that are going to deodorize and help your laundry soap smell clean when it's done being clean.
Yeah, I love that. Well, tell me, if every listener could change one habit after hearing this conversation, what would you want it to be?
Hmm, such a tough question. I think the fabric softener, I really think that that's just kind of a gimmick. I've since stopping using fabric softener, I've never felt like, oh, I wish my clothes were as soft as it used to be. I've never noticed a difference. And that could be different for other people, but I think that there's laundry softener, fabric softener is kind of a gimmick. And if you start looking, there's other ones, but that's probably the number one. You stop using it, see if you feel a difference.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, yeah, there's lots of things that we can add, whether it's the fabric softener or the lotions and potions, like we spoke about before, where you got to stop and ask yourself, like, does this really make a difference? Do I really want to expose my body to this? So I love that you're saying this. Tell us a little bit about your store and your products and how people can learn more about you. Will you share that with us? And we'll have all of this in the show notes. So people, listeners, you can go to the show notes. You can click on the links and such there. But for anybody who's only listening and doesn't have access to the show notes in the moment, where can they find you? And then tell us about what your products look like.
Amazing. So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Safe and Sound Soap Co. It's Safe and Sound Soap CO. And my website is the same thing, safeandsoundsoapco.com. I have laundry soap, cleaning sprays, laundry booster if you're wanting that extra scent boost. If you're used to that, you want to keep that going. I think that it's more sustainable if it keeps your quality of life and the fun aspect to things the same as the products in the store does. So you can find those, my sugar scrubs, room sprays, and I'm always coming out with new products as well. And you can find all of those on my website and follow me on social media to see those new product releases. And I also offer a lot of free cleaning tips and things like that on my social media.
I love that. So where do they find you on social media?
Safe and Sound Soap Co.
Okay, so that's both for Instagram, Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook and TikTok.
Love it. Okay, perfect. Well, Savannah, thank you so much for being here with us today, for highlighting the importance of, hey guys, we've got to start to pay attention because we live in a pretty darn toxic world. There's new toxic chemicals coming out. Like, I don't know what the statistic is, but it's something like every minute there's some new toxic chemical that's being added to the list. And it's important for us to do this. So thanks for the contribution and in keeping our world healthy and safe. And I want everyone to go over and check out the products that Savannah has, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you.
This is Dr. D reminding you to tune into your body, connect with what matters, and embrace the journey to true wellness. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready to redefine their health. Be sure to grab a copy of the True Wellness Checklist right in the show notes. Let's keep redefining wellness and empowering change together. See you for the next episode.